Galgioni, Glazer, Hall, Hancock, Hernandez, Hertzberg, Hill, Hueso, Huff, Jackson, Lada, Leno, Leyva, Liu, McGuire, Mendoza, Mitchell, Monning, Morlock, Morrell, Wynn, Nilsson, Pan, Pavley, Roth, Runner, Stone, Vidak, Wykowski, Wolk.
Sergeants, we are absent a quorum. If we can have members called at their office so we can quickly begin our session today.
Bates, Bell, Berryhill, Block, Canella, De Leon, Fuller, Gaines, Galgiani, Glazer, Hall, Hancock, Hernandez, Hertzberg, Hill, Hueso, Huff, Jackson, Lada, Leno, Leyva, Liu, McGuire, Mendoza, Mitchell, Monning, Morlock, Morrell, Wynn, Nilsson, Pan, Pavley, Roth, Runner, Stone, Vidak, Wykowski, Wolk.
Thank you. Members, a quorum is present. Would the members and our guests beyond the rail and in the gallery please rise? We will be led in prayer this morning by our chaplain, Sister Michelle Gorman, after which, please remain standing. We will be led in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag by Senator Hannah Beth Jackson.
Let us recall that we are in God's presence again. I search for you, O God, always elusive and hidden. I long to dwell in the heart of mystery. I search for my true self, more of who I already am, knowing there's so much yet to be discovered. I search for vision in the shadows of my soul, impatiently waiting the moment of lighting. I search for a quiet heart amid life's harried schedule. My soul cries out, yearning for solitude. I search for home, always for home, unaware, of course, that I am already there. Amen. To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Members, we're moving to privileges of the floor. Are there any privileges of the floor, members? Seeing none, we move to messages from the governor. Messages from the governor will be deemed read. Messages from the assembly will be deemed read. Reports of committee will be deemed read and the amendments adopted. Under motions, resolutions, and notices, without objection, the Senate journals for February 1st through February 4th, 2016 will be approved as corrected by the minute clerk. Senator Monning.
Thank you, Mr. President. Motions and resolutions.
Without objection.
I'd like to request the removal of file item A25, AB 531 by Assemblymember O'Donnell to remove it from the inactive file.
Such will be the order. Members, any other motions, resolutions, or notices? Seeing none, we'll move to introduction of and first reading of bills will be deemed read. Consideration of the daily file, members. We have some governor's appointments. We'll wait for our pro tem. We're going to begin with Senate third reading, item 48. Senator Pan, pass on file. File item 49, Senator Bell, not at his desk. File item 50, Senator Hall, not present. File item 51, Senator McGuire. File item 51, pass on file. Members, are moving back to motions and resolutions for adjourned memories. Senator Bates.
Mr. President, it's privileges of the floor. I have an announcement at the appropriate time.
Without objection, you could do that now.
Good morning, Mr. President and members. It's just a reminder, and I don't know that I need to remind you because I see much red on the floor, and today is Capitol Goes Red Day. Assemblywoman Autumn Burke has introduced ACR 122, which recognizes the month of February 2016 as American Heart Month in California, and February 5th 2016 is Wear Red Day in California in order to raise awareness of the importance of the ongoing fight against heart disease and stroke. And I noticed at the airport this morning, I noticed many, many people wearing red, so the message is out. The fight against heart disease is a very serious matter, especially because women are disproportionately affected. Please join Assemblywoman Burke, the Legislative Women's Caucus, and the American Heart and Stroke Association in room 25 from now until 12:30 this afternoon to participate in many health screenings, CPR training, and even to taste some heart-healthy snacks. I appreciate your attention to Capitol Goes Red Day and recognizing February 2016 as American Heart Month in California. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Bates. Senator Stone.
Thank you, Mr. President. Adjourn to memory.
1 second, Senator Stone. We're still on privileges of the floor. On this item, Senator Jackson.
On this item, thank you, Mr. President. On behalf of the Legislative Women's Caucus, I want to join in the acknowledgement that today is Go Red for Women Day. You know, the whole notion of heart disease has historically been viewed as a disease that affects primarily men. But in fact, since 1984, more women than men have died each year from heart disease. And the fact that there are so many of us here wearing red is indeed a good example and illustration of the greater awareness that is happening in response to that reality, that this is a disease that kills 1 in 3 women. In fact, it kills more women than all other diseases, and particularly all other cancers combined. We are, and I think rightly so, concerned about diseases like breast cancer, but that kills 1 in 31 women. This heart disease kills 1 in 3. Our mothers, our daughters, our sisters, our friends are all at risk. It is a disease that, again, for too long has not been taken seriously with respect to its impact on women. In fact, an estimated 43 million women in the United States are affected by heart disease, and 90% of women have 1 or more of the risk factors for developing the disease. For Hispanic women, they are more likely to develop heart disease 10 years earlier than Caucasian women. And indeed, only 1 in 3 Hispanic women are aware that heart disease is their #1 killer. For African American women, cardiovascular disease is the leading cause of death. Of African American women ages 20 and older, almost 47% have cardiovascular disease. This is an issue that we must address. I invite everyone to come and get checked today. We do have, in room 25, there will be through 12:30, the opportunity to get some of the signs addressed, and hopefully with that kind of prevention, we will be able to reduce the scourge of heart disease and heart attacks in women. It is really critical that we recognize that most of this is preventable. We just need awareness. We need to make sure that our medical profession is doing more to study the impacts of heart disease on women. In fact, the symptoms of heart disease, of heart attack, are very different between men and women frequently do not recognize those signs because they haven't been made public enough. They just simply are different, and many women have heart attacks without even knowing it, putting them at greater and greater risk as they live their lives. So with that, colleagues, thank you all for recognizing the importance of this day. Please share this information with your loved ones, with your constituents. We can do better. We must do better to eradicate this insidious disease. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Jackson. Members still under privileges of the floor. Senator Allen.
Just a very, very quick introduction, Mr. President. Some of the members of the Jewish Caucus had the opportunity to have dinner with folks who were here from JPAC, which is an organization through the Jewish Federation that advocates for a variety of issues relating to social justice and programs, et cetera. And we were very impressed with a young man, Jake Filer, who's in the back here, and we just wanted to take an opportunity to introduce him. He's a young man, he's a junior at University of Michigan who's about to go off to study in Prague. this semester. He's very interested in politics, and he's one of my constituents, and he's a fantastic, sharp young guy. We had an opportunity to speak with him. We just wanted to introduce him on the floor today. Jake.
Welcome and safe travels. Senator Bell, under privileges of the floor, at Senator Wajkowski's desk.
Mr. President and members, it's my privilege to, at this time, introduce a group of guests, and they are from my home district office town of Campbell, California. This is the St. Lucy's 8th grade class, and they are here visiting us today. We'd like to welcome our St. Lucie 8th grade class from Campbell, California. Welcome, students, and good luck.
Welcome to your California State Senate. Senator Fuller, under privileges of the floor.
Announcement.
Without objection.
Members, I would like to officially announce the dates for this year's California Aerospace Days. On Monday, February 29th and Tuesday, March 1st, there will be exhibits, hearings, and briefings here at the Capitol by aerospace companies and organizations. Your office should have already received a save-the-date flyer. I have extras here if you are interested with all of the events and the times. The Senate Select Committee on Defense and Aerospace will be holding a joint hearing with our Assembly counterparts titled, you will be surprised, Women in Aerospace and Engineering. I know, very surprising. And I will look forward to seeing all of you men participating with us, Women in Aerospace Engineering exhibit, as well as all of the others. It's a fun day. Lots of flight simulators and exciting things, and I know some of you who know much more about this than I do will be there to host us, right? Senator Roth? Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you. Members, we're going to return to motions and resolutions for purposes of adjournment memories. Senator Stone.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, thank you for allowing me to adjourn in the memory of Loretta Ferraro. Loretta was born on March 5th, 1948 in Boston and moved to San Francisco in 1980, where she became a very successful realtor. In 2007, she moved to Indian Wells in the Coachella Valley to join her soon-to-be husband, Richard Boloco, who was the CEO of Desert Arc, an organization that provides much-needed services for those that are developmentally disabled. Loretta gave much to her community. She served as a community activities committee person and championed tirelessly for more research aimed at finding a cure for breast cancer. Cancer ultimately took her life as she passed away on January 31st. As someone who gave her all for her community, working with the American Cancer Society and for the Desert Arc, Loretta was loved by many who knew her and admired her by many who relied on her devotion for helping others in need. Thank you for allowing me to adjourn in the memory of Loretta Ferraro, who will be greatly missed, but her legacy of supporting others and for helping her community will continue to live on in the Coachella Valley. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Senator Nielsen, on this item? Perfect. Senator Runner.
Mr. President and members, I rise to adjourn in memory of Larry Cimboli, who passed away on November 10th this year. Mr. Cimboli was the first mayor of Palmdale and was instrumental in getting the city incorporated in 1962. And in 1974, he served as assemblyman, the first assemblyman from the Antelope Valley. Larry was a resident, elected, and a Democrat at that time, and nobody served again as a Democrat until the last couple of years. He was a pillar of the community, and he was tirelessly involved in civic affairs and volunteer organizations, even till his passing at age 96. So all of us can live to 96 if we serve in the legislature, I guess. His leadership helped during bringing the Lockheed Assembly Plant, and he was instrumental in developing the region's freeway system. He will be missed by his family and countless friends. He was a friend of mine for over 35 years. His claim to fame was carrying around red roses. So it's appropriate today to have a red rose here and being Red Day and reminded of the heart issue for women especially. And he would buy them from a local family business that was there, Antelope Valley Florist, and keep them in his car and deliver them all over the Antelope Valley. He was a wonderful husband to his wife, Vicki, raised his granddaughter, and many tributes have been made to Larry over the years, buildings named after him, and specifically, just recently, before he died, there was a bench in front of the City Hall in Palmdale that they made a statue that the community and we contributed to, with him sitting there with his arm out. So you can get a picture with him still there, kind of hugging you with his little red rose on his statue there. And he was well enough to be there back in October. And so it was great to be able to honor him in that way. So I ask that we adjourn in his memory today. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Runner. Please bring Mr. Chimboli's name forward so that he may be properly memorialized. Senator Nielsen.
Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen of the Senate, I would ask that today we would adjourn in memory of a cousin. Members of my family, the Smith family, are in the gallery today, honoring the memory of Ellen Groudon Smith. Her husband, Jack, was my mother's first cousin, the most beloved first cousin. I grew up with Jack and Ellen's 5 children. And I would that would be a silver screen up there that we could project Jack and Ellen. Had they gone to Hollywood, you would have seen the ideal Hollywood couple. A ruggedly handsome cowboy and a beautiful, sought-after woman. An ideal couple that is manifested in their 5 children, 26 great-grandchildren, and 1 great-grandchild in this family. These children, great-grandchildren, and great-great-grandchild were what the family was all about. I remember as a very young boy, and this family was starting out, they for a brief time lived above a garage, and there was a very steep stair going up to it. And I thought that was so cool. They later moved to Modesto, where they co-founded a trucking company, or not a trucking company, but a trailer company. And up and down I-5 and 99, you'll see Westmark Trailers, a very famous custom manufacturing company that thrived, and that was Jack's business. Ellen's business was her children, her great-grandchildren, great-great-grandchildren, and her husband. They were her vocation, and her faith was her mainstay, her Catholic faith. She lived for them, and she was the glue that bonded the family. And the frequent family reunions was all a part of what held that Smith family together. Now, she was born a Groudon, very prominent family in the Fresno area, and a very productive family. They have always had a lot of children, and they are always very close, very much the idyllic American family. And you could certainly always see the loving care and the loving kindness. In addition to their own children, they opened their home always to friends, and surely the children of their friends, and the friends of their children. They had ever so many blessed and loving traits, truly pillars of the community. We know that the Lord has welcomed Ellen to his house of many mansions, where she lived her life to honor him. And we know that their family will live on through the generations with that pillar of family awaiting them in heaven. I ask that we adjourn in the honor of Ellen Grouden Smith today.
Thank you, Senator Nielsen. Our condolences to you and your family. Please bring Mr. Smith's name so we can be properly memorialized. Members, any additional adjourned memories? If not, we're going to move back to Governor's appointments. Senator De Leon. Members, this is file item 41. Senator De Leon.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, we have file item number 41 before us, 2 appointments from the governor. We have Mr. Kevin Kish, Director of the Department of Fair Employment and Housing. He's responsible for enforcing anti-discrimination laws in California, employment, housing, as well as public accommodations and hate violence. He works with businesses with large and small while investigating claims filed with his office. I would ask for an aye vote. We also have Dara Schur, who is a board member of the Department of Fair Employment as well as Housing. This council, the board specifically, is responsible for creating the regulations to implement the laws that relate to housing, employment, hate crimes, and Family Rights Act. She is an attorney with many years of experience, committed to working with all parties to promulgate fair and workable, regulations. With that, I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you. Members, debate or discussion on file item 41? Debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. I. Anderson. Bates. I. Bell. I. Berryhill. Block. I. Cannella. De Leon. I. Fuller. I. Gaines. Galgioni. I. Glazer. Hall. I. Hancock. Hernandez. I. Hertzberg. I. Hill. I. Wisso. I. Huff. Jackson. I. Lada. I. Leno. I. Leva. I. Liu. McGuire. I. Mendoza. I. Mitchell. Monning. I. Morlock. I. Morrell. I. Wynn. I. Nielsen. I. Pan. I. Pavley. I. Roth. I. Runner. I. Stone. I. Vidak. I. Wachowski. I. Wolk. Wolk, aye. Anderson, aye.
Call the absent members.
Berryhill. Cannella. I. Gaines. Glazer. I. Hancock. Huff. I. Liu. Mitchell.
Ayes 35, no 0. The appointment's confirmed in. Members, we're going to move to file item 42. Any debate or discussion on this item? File item 42. Any objection to applying our unanimous roll call? Seeing and hearing none, ayes 35, no 0. The appointment's confirmed in. Members, we're going to if there's no other business, Senator De Leon, the desk is clear. Senator De Leon, the desk is clear.
Thank you, colleagues. I hope you have a wonderful and productive weekend. We will reconvene session next Monday at 2 p.m. Have a very safe weekend. Thank you.
Members, the Senate will be in recess until 3:30, at which time the adjournment motion will be made. We will reconvene Monday at 2 p.m.